Alright, thank you for watching another video. Maybe it's your first video, maybe you haven't even finished one video yet, I don't know. To me, this is just killing time, telling these stories. Some people like them, some people don't, I don't know. So, anyway, let's talk about, I'm still with baseball, I'm still taking care of the players. Uh, Paparazzi. Paparazzi in Japan. Now, paparazzi here is nothing compared to the paparazzi in other countries like the States or UK. The paparazzi here, they're more like ninjas. I mean, they stay in the corners, they stay in the shadows, they stay in cars with the window barely rolled down so they can get a good shot of a picture that you don't want to be taken. And yeah, the ones in the States do similar to the same thing. You still have those kind of guys, but here, that's more of the technique. Now, what's a little different here is they'll set you up. They'll have a girl purposely walk up to you and give you a hug or start talking to you so they can get a good picture. Now, I know people are like, oh, they wouldn't do that. They did it. I've been in the Gossip magazine like 3 times, and all 3 times was a complete lie. So, for example, the first time, me and a player, he was here from, I think, one of the teams, the other leagues, and he was in town, and after the game, he was like, can we go get something to eat, where's a good restaurant? And I think he wanted yakiniku. Yakiniku is Japanese, Korean barbecue where you cook the own meat yourself, and it's delicious. I mean, it's amazing. If you come here, it's probably going to be your favorite food if you like meat. So we go to a really good place, I know, but it was completely booked. He was starving. He didn't want to wait. He, 5 minutes to, he just didn't want to wait. He's like, you know what? There's TGI Fridays around the corner. Let's just go there. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I mean, I really don't care. So we go to TGI Fridays. We're eating. I have a cheeseburger. He has steak or something. So he's got to travel the next day to go back home into the hometown, but he wants to pick up some trinkets, like souvenirs for family back home. He's like, hey, Bachi, do you know where I can get some t-shirts with like Japanese on it that say Tokyo or Japan or I love sushi or whatever, these things that tourists like. So I was like, well, yeah, there's TGI Friday, or there's a Don Quixote, which is Walmart here. It's like basically our Walmart. I was like, there's a Don Quixote, like a 3-minute walk from here if you want to go there. And he was like, yeah, let's go check it out. I want to get some chopsticks because for whatever reason, girls back home, they love the chopsticks. They wind up their hair and stick it through. Looks cool. And they do have nice chopsticks here. So we finish and pay the bill, and we're just walking up the street to the Don Quixote. Now this is in Roppongi area, so that's where all the clubs are, all on the sides of the street. And there's clubs everywhere. But this is I want to say a Sunday night because he had a day game or something. After that, we went to eat and then stuff. So it's still early. I mean, maybe 9, 10 o'clock. We just finished eating. I think maybe earlier than that. So as we're walking, we leave Fridays and walk up the street. Some of the customers from the club that I know that used to come in, these 2 girls, they come, oh my God, Bachi, what are you doing? Haven't seen you forever. And I was like, oh yeah, so I'm talking to him. But it's him, me, then the 2 girls. And we're walking the same direction. So I'm talking to him. I'm just like, hey, yeah. And, he is totally just not even paying attention to him. So he's totally not even paying attention. He's on his phone. Actually, I think he might have called his wife to let her know we just finished eating. He's going to do some shopping and head back to the hotel. So I'm talking to the girls. I'm just like, oh yeah, they're talking. And we're walking up the street. And there was I think they were going to a birthday party or it was something, because it was still early. Like I said, it was like maybe 8 or 9 o'clock. It was still early, but they had a birthday party to go to, or it was some event, like an early event, a salsa event. I don't know. So we're walking up and they were headed that way. So when we get to in front of Don Quixote, the girls were like, bye-bye, it's nice to see you, and I give him a hug, and he shakes their hands. He's like, oh, it's very nice to meet you. And then we go on there and they go to wherever they're going. We shop for maybe 45 minutes. And he gets some trinkets, some t-shirts, some keychains, whatever he wanted. We come out, we jump in the taxi. I take him back to the, I think it's the Tokyo Dome Hotel, maybe. Tokyo Dome Hotel is where they were staying. Drop him off there. It's still early enough. I mean, it's maybe 10:30 maybe, and I jump on the train and I go home. Totally fine. So a few weeks later, he calls me. He's like, yo, dude, have you seen the Friday magazine, which is a gossip magazine? And I'm just like, oh, what's up? He's like, they got pictures of us in there talking about girls and stuff. My translator just told me, and he's asking me if I knew. And I was like, what? So I get the magazine. And what they did, they said that me and him had dinner with these 2 girls. After dinner, we walked to a club down the street. And the picture that they used was only the picture at the end where we were shaking hands and I was giving him a hug and he shook hands with the girl. that's the picture they used. So it looked like in the picture that we were together as a group. And it said that they went to the club for about an hour, and then it had another picture. There's two pictures, that picture, and then it had a picture of me holding the taxi door open and he had the bags jumping in the taxi, and it had like people behind us, but they blacked out the eyes and stuff. So it looked like maybe those were the girls or something. I don't remember, but it did look like there was girls behind us because it's in a busy street. It's the middle of Roppongi. Of course, there's people everywhere. So he's like, they got in the taxi. They went back to their hotel, and then they were in the hotel for like 20 minutes, and then from there, the manager and comes out and leaves it and left the two girls there. It's just some weird, just made weird fantasy. And of course, he was like, that's not true. That's not even what happened. I was on my phone with my wife. I was, back in the hotel by 9:30 talking to my wife. The team's like, yeah, don't worry about it. They do this all the time. But I was like, what? How is that even legal? They made up a complete false story about going and going. I felt bad because I knew the girls and I put him in that position. And he was like, dude, I was on the phone. My wife knows you were talking to those two girls when he was walking up the street. And, I was Skyping her when I got back to the hotel. It's not like anything happened. Don't worry about it. But I still felt horrible. So after that, I was very, very cautious. That was a learning experience for me. So I made sure that, they never, if there was any time we were anywhere, and if I saw, because I ran the clubs in Japan, I would have 2,000-3,000 people in my clubs on, a day. So I knew a lot of people. I knew these people that go clubbing and dancers and people that work at clubs and stuff like that. I knew them all. So if they ever came up, I made sure that there was no getting close to anybody for no stupid picture. So that was like the first time. The second time, my friend was dating a celebrity, like she was really famous. So he's like, Bachi, I want you to meet her. I want to take her to a baseball game sometime. So I go to dinner with him, and it's a lot of us. I mean, because I brought some of the players, and it's him and his girlfriend. I'm sitting next to her, and then the players here, and then we're all sitting at the table and we're eating. And I guess a customer from the site took a picture of that. And then as we're coming out of the club, I think the restaurant, the yakiniku place, was coming out of the restaurant. And the same guy who probably took the picture was waiting. He took another picture. And then a week later, my friend and his girlfriend, the girl, came to the Tokyo Dome, and I got them seats and everything. And I sat with them for a little bit watching the game and just talking to him. I mean, I don't know who she is. I mean, I met her. She's a nice girl. But anyway, after all that happened, after this all happened in a week of different places, it came out in the gossip magazine. She has a new boyfriend. They have pictures of me next to her, like she's dating a foreigner now or something. They just made this whole weird, and they cut everything else out of the picture. They didn't, it's just stupid. But that's what they do. They like to make a story. They like to build it up, and they'll post on the trains and stuff like, who is Brad Pitt dating? And it'll have a picture with a mosaic on it. So people want to buy the magazine when it comes out, So this is how they promote this stuff. So that was another time. After that, I think it was just team won the championship years later. This was after Kroon. The team won the championship. We were out celebrating, and yet again, player and manager partying the night away kind of thing, and just stupid things like that. So paparazzi here is a little different. That's why a lot of celebrities will come over here. Like I've been walking down the street before, and I saw Rihanna. She was just walking with her friend, I guess. I don't know what he is. And nobody knows her. I mean, they don't, if they're not on the newspapers here, or there's no like news article saying, Tom Cruise will be in Japan tomorrow for this movie premiere, they don't expect to see anybody. So Rihanna walking down the street with whoever, nobody even took a second. Like foreigners do, like she's tall. I mean, is that Rihanna? Kind of thing. But a lot of celebrities like, One Direction and those guys used to come here individually just on their private time to hang out and shop because they're left alone. Now, when it's publicized or when they get caught, like somebody's like, are you? And then that's when the crowd comes. But for the most part, we're just foreigners over here, and we're like, they think we're English teachers, or we work on the military base, so they leave us alone for the most part. But once it's out in the news or once it's publicized and public knowledge, then it becomes a mess. Yeah, I've seen lots of people. I think I didn't get to see him, but Vin Diesel was here one time just shopping in Tokyo. Snoop was in a Landmark Tower, the building in Yokohama, buying shoes, I think. And somebody called me like, I was just walking by the shoe store and I saw Snoop in there. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, he was just in there buying shoes. So yeah, they come here to shop and hang out. That's also probably why that one hip hop mogul send his son over here because he'd be left alone to shop. All right, I hope you enjoyed it. I'll talk to you in a little bit.